Hey, come on. Come on. Hey. What? Here we go, here we go, here we go now. Hey. Let's chit chat, this is the show now. Come on. Bad black mama's gonna let you know now. Hey. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Come on. Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, hey. Let's chit chat, sis. Hey, what's up? Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, let's chit chat, sis. Hey.
Hey, ladies, how are you doing today?
Hi.
Hello, doing
Well,
great, doing great.
Doing great, doing great. Who is ready for the summer?
Oh, girl, getting ready.
You ready?
I'm getting ready.
like that heat. I ran away from Orlando from the heat. I'm used to this weather now.
Yeah, I don't like heat. I don't
I'm
like
just
heat.
waiting for spring. Like we just keep going from winter to summer to winter to summer. Like
I know it don't feel like
Yeah, the
spring.
weather is doing that
It don't
much.
feel like spring. So I'm just a little confused what the summer gonna bring. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll get snow. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, it's a little confusing. I just hope next winter it's a real winter and we have snow, kill bugs, and cause like I walk every day and I'm telling you, the ant farms are so high. You know how you see the
Oh
little
yeah.
hole? Oh my God, they like sitting up like that. I was like, what did they have a whole bunch of babies during the winter? Cause Lord have mercy, they oozing out like
they're losing
and
out
then this
because
rain don't help.
I think it's the dampness. Yes, they know when rain is coming. So whenever you see those little hills, that means rain is coming.
But they don't even look like hills. They look like mountains now. Like I was like, what in the world is going on? So, I haven't seen any bees yet. Praise God. I haven't seen bees yet, but I know they're coming.
Wasps and they're aggressive because I'll be tanning and I tell CG, go swat them. And then they come and they hit our window. They're waiting. They're like, come outside. No, I'm not. We bought a zap. Don't play with us. We bought the
They're mad. They're mad because they didn't
get mad. I thought that was
yeah.
a joke. They come and now when I'll come out, they're like, zoom, like they'll come to try to hit me. I'm not, look, I'm losing my color. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Don't worry, you're in Virginia. Guess what? You're gonna get a lot of sun and humidity on
Yeah, I
top of
just
it.
got back from Charlotte, so trust me, it was very, very warm.
Yeah, I don't miss that though. I do miss my friends there, but I don't miss having challenges with my asthma. That's the biggest thing. So I'm kind of relieved from that. But when we talk about getting ready for the summer, I think it's a cliche thing that we say as women that we do all this preparation during the winter months, which we did not have, to try to get ourselves, I guess, bathing suit ready, just ready for shorts and things like that. Because um, I'm gonna say for myself, I know that I'm hard on myself, far as, oh, I can't wear shorts no more. I think my legs is not shorts, you know, attractive. I'll just say that. I need to take off 15 pounds, blah, blah, blah. This is what I say. When I say to my husband, he just looks side eye at me. But, that's how I feel. So I'm sure y'all are in agreement because we all do something to stay, I guess, maintained. And especially when you get, older, what I mean, menopause is brutal. You know what I mean? It puts on extra weight that you have to fight to keep off. But I think this episode goes a little bit deeper than us doing a couple extra crunches and doing doing Pilates like Keisha is, the yoga Pilates lady, and one day she'll grace us with one of her videos so we can get our lives together. But I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. Especially when we talk about women of color, because we always say black don't crack, when but that I think that's the upper part. Downstairs, they're going all different directions. We all know that. So we are out here experiencing which is kind of alarming to me. Y'all guys can jump in. Is young folks going to the extent of having plastic surgery? You know what I mean? Doing a lot of things to the body to look like I guess one of the Kardashians, or I don't know. I mean, but they're losing their lives, and I just want to just have a conversation, candid conversation, because if you're down for it, look, it's I'm not here to scrutinize anybody. We're never here to offend, but we just want to talk about it. How did we get to this era where we're just cutting and tucking all the time? Who's going first?
I think that we now have the ability. It's been made available to everyone because, as we know, cosmetic surgery was not always available to everybody
Right.
just from the sheer cost alone, right? So it was
Right.
only available to a certain class of people, right? Regardless of
Mhm.
color, just to a certain class, those who had the money and were able to afford it. I think once the price became within reach for everyone,
Mhm. I
then
agree.
people who would not have considered it before are certainly considering it now. With that being said, I think as women of color, I think it started out with us, and I could be wrong, but I'm just guesstimating. A lot of us found out that we could get breast reduction, because a lot of women were just heavy busted. And so, with the back problems and things of that nature, and then doctors coming in saying, look, this is really, to help you, and this will alleviate some of the problems you're having. And believe it or not, and this is not, directed at any person of any particular race, but breast augmentation, when it hurts the back and it's medically necessary, things like Medicaid cover it.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
yeah, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
then for people who really needed it and can justify having it done, if they are on Medicaid, they can actually, get that done and have no out-of-pocket costs, as opposed to those who are using, employer paid health coverage, then, we still have partial out-of-pocket costs or whatever. So again, it still is affordable. So if you look at both of those means from a financial perspective, just breast augmentation alone, look who's having that surgery, right? So I do know, because I have family members who have had it because they were very, very large busted.
Mhm.
So when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, but then now when you have it and after you've had it, it's not so scary. Then it's kind of like, oh, I can do another little nip tuck here. And again, I can afford it. It's not that much. It's within reach, payment plans and care credit and all of these things that you can use to have it done. I think people are willing to admit it's faster. It's faster than going to the gym. It's
Right.
faster than working out.
Right.
It's quick. And that's the type of society that we're living in today. People want things quick and fast. And my last point would be, I've always been nervous. I don't think that I would ever have anything done. I don't think I need to have anything done. But if you have it done too early, what happens when you age? You have to keep that up. Like, what happens if you have surgery at 28 and now you're 48? Like, you
Gotta
can't
go back. You gotta go back under the
you
knife.
can't stop the aging process. You can try and slow it down, but you certainly can't stop it. And why would you want to stop the aging process at 28? I feel like as women, we're not who we are meant to be till we get a little bit older or whatever. So, that's just my take on it.
Keisha?
Okay, so let's go to why women actually have it.
Mhm.
Plastic surgery done. As Chauncey said, sometimes it's a issue that's causing pain that you may need to do that. Other times it's women who just want to feel confident. Sometimes even with diet and exercise, there are just some things that you just can't, that's just not working with diet and exercise, and you may
Right.
need to have to do that procedure.
Right.
And I am for it if you feel like it's going to enhance and improve your life. I am for it. Um, I am not for drastically changing yourself, like doing extreme. So we're kind of talking about a lot of, it could be minor things, and then it could be the extreme. So when you go extreme, that means you're changing your whole thing, and you're not even looking nowhere near like yourself.
Right.
And I wouldn't do that. But yeah, plastic surgery, yeah. I'm for it if it's going to,
That's a valid point. When I think
yeah.
about what you're saying, Keisha, there's nothing wrong with it. I think I get a little concerned when I see really young people doing it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like you haven't even had children yet. Like if you had children, if you do a mommy makeover, hats off to you, because I feel like, gosh, it's so hard after you have a baby, you know what I mean, to try to pull things back together. But I'm seeing people that are signing off like at 17 years old,
Mhm.
and you're now getting butt implants. You know what I mean? You haven't even tried to do the crunches or the squats yet. You're just going right to
The puberty.
100. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
100.
start first with the natural stuff. If it's water for moisturize for your skin, drink the water.
Right.
Put sunscreen on. Do all the protective stuff first. If it's diet and exercise, do that first before you go to the extreme.
But the thing
Like
is,
make an
overall,
attempt.
well, the
Yeah.
thing is, overall, we're lazy. Everyone wants immediate gratification. No one wants to take the steps. No one wants to start out right. Even if you look at some of these parents with kids, they don't feed their kids properly. So they don't start out with having vegetables and fruits and stuff every day. Not to mention those that find it hard to afford to be able to do that, right? So it's a catch 22. So there are many factors, but if we just start out with eating right and the proper diet, and like Keisha said, things like water, encourage your kids. I really love how my daughters are really big on that with my grandsons. They make sure that they drink water. That's part of their daily intake. And even when the kids want juice, or they water down the juice and make sure it's mostly water with a little bit of flavor to it. So kind of like an infusion thing or whatever. So they won't have an aversion to it as they get older. It's the same thing with fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. You got to give it to them. They aren't born telling you, I don't want it and I don't like it.
So I have a question. Do you think that social media has influenced
I
plastic
was going
surgery?
because I'm like, you guys are talking about breast augmentation, and the reason I'm so quiet is because I'm like, I've never heard of plastic surgery in that way. And I have, family members that are you guys' age. I have family members that are my age. I have family members that are younger that are getting stuff done. And I've never heard, I had one person that told me, I have to get my breasts reduced because my back hurts. And then 2 years later, she had thighs and ass and hips. And I
Because
was like, so what was the point? Stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was
well,
like,
because she found out it. See, lots of times, who wants to have surgery on purpose, right? And so people have a fear, right? But once they have it done for whatever reason, and now they're like, oh, that's not so bad. You could probably
here's
go.
the thing though. The same person is now walking around without ass, hips, thighs, and tits. So
But I
when
want
are
to
we
interject
talking
and say
about
this
this
much.
mental health stuff now? When do we start breaking into that? Because it
I
goes
want
into
to
social
interject
media.
and say this much.
Yeah.
Jaslyn, you're the youngest one on the porch, okay? Tell us why. Tell us why the people you know are doing it. Because we're just assuming, because we don't have anybody. I don't know. Do you have one, Chauncey, or you, Keisha?
I do know some, not my family, but I do know someone who she planned it. She's much younger, than me. I would be old enough to be her mom. But she has several children, and she planned it. She saved her money, and she knew what she was going to do. She knew where she was going to go, and she knew all of that and had all of it in place. So it took her a few years. She discussed it with her husband. I thought that was, really important. They both agreed, and she went and had her mommy makeover done. And, she's quite happy. She said, but she's more along the lines of 35, and she's not, you know what I mean? She's already had three children, and you know what I mean? So her body has developed, her body has changed, and it's going into a certain place. God bless you. You know what I mean? And she's very happy with it, and it makes her happy. So I say, kudos to her and anyone else that's in that situation. So yeah.
I mean, I understand that. I mean, like I said, when you had those kids, boy, I'm telling you, that little pooper pop right there, boy, you be doing.
Because I just learned what fupa was, in the last couple of years, and I'm like, oh,
It's
Well,
it's a vulgar word, and it just sounds cute. It's a vulgar,
little-
it's like a cute little. Yeah.
It's a little look. I put a picture out there one time, and Jaslyn, I'm not letting you off the hook because I want to know. I put a picture out there about how a body naturally looks. You know what I mean? Of course, a fupa was there. You know what I mean? Your
But
stomach is not going to stretch always as far as a tray, and then you think it's going to, automatically.
but genetics is in play here, and
Mhm.
not just because you had a baby that is sitting out there. Some of us like the fried foods and the cakes and the cookies, and let's
That's
just be,
so true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of weird, genetics too, because I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that I see like on my mom's body that my mom is, she's got a nice figure on her. And then I have cousins that are very petite. And those are the cousins that have like stretch marks. I'm like, I don't care how big I get, I don't get stretch marks, but that's from my mom.
Girl, kiss the ground on the guy. Woo.
Oh, my mom has had 3 kids, twins at once, and that woman didn't have nothing, even after she gave birth. And I'm
My
like,
mom don't have stretch marks either.
that's some them stuff.
And guess
That
what?
is like amazing. Like,
I didn't get these boobs until after I was 40.
Girl, I told my stepdad, I'm not doing nothing until you guys pay for these boobs. And he said, you need to go through puberty, Jasmine. And now you guys know what that looks like now. Imagine that surgery. And my stepdad was like, girl, no. Like,
well, I have more boobs than I ever have had. And I think it comes after you
Me
get
too.
40. I have more. Like, I only had a nipple. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And I used to complain about that. I did. And my dad used to say, Timmy, you don't want no boobs. I'm telling you, you're gonna have to put deodorant under it and all stuff. Well, now I do. You know what I mean? So I mean, they're not really big, but they're bigger than what I was used to. I could put a tank top on. I probably look like my brother, but it was cool. But be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. You know what I mean? If I show y'all a picture of me when I went on, I'll try to say, I don't even know if you was like there that day when I went on my one of my many boyfriends, but prom, and I saw this picture and I was like, what the heck did I have in my dress? Because my breasts looked like arrows sitting out, and all this was like bone. You know what I mean? So, like, I was like, how did my mom let me go outside looking like that? I was like, oh my God. Like, somebody should have went got some tape or something and pulled the skin up or something, made it look realistic. But
We didn't have
it now.
back then.
Jaslyn, tell us what you know.
Yeah. I actually did a little bit of research. I had a conversation with a few of my friends. That's crazy to me that you guys don't know people. I think there's only maybe 3 or 4 people in my family that don't have anything done. My mom being one of those people. So when you guys just said that, you didn't see my face. I'm like, what? So who do y'all talk to? Like, everybody around me has been done. But it's I spoke to not only women, I spoke to guys. I know a lot of guys that have done their bodies.
What they get done?
They'll get pecs, they'll get liposuction, they'll get muscles put in.
You can take makeup on your chest and make it look like you got a 6-pack. You know what I mean?
They put like a pec, like you know how you have like man boobs? They'll take your man boobie out and they'll put a man pec in there, and then you look like a. I dated somebody that had their body done. That was a man, and he was from like Mexico, and they look like telenovela stars because they get their pecs done, they get their abs put in, they get their legs, everything. They even shape them. It's ridiculous, girl. It's catfish to the max. I was like, usually, wow. I did pull up a statistic. There was it said 1.3 million men have gotten cosmetic surgeries in just 2021. That was 2 years ago. And from what I've seen, because I don't know these artists, because I don't listen to a lot of gospel music, but it looks like that is heavy in the gospel scene.
Why?
I did not know this. I don't know what's going on. You guys, I don't know if you guys listen to gospel music.
Like that church chicken. That's why.
You stupid child.
They done gave me a lot of names, and I was like,
pork chops in the kitchen, and maybe fixing them.
Wow, that's amazing.
Don't play, y'all.
I went through a few of them, and I've asked, because you want to have a real conversation about it. And the first thing I have to say is nobody had a serious conversation with me. Everything was very delusional, because when I think about anybody, this is anybody, when you're thinking about getting something done on your body, whether it's removed or added, that part of your body does not make you feel good. So you can't tell me that you got your entire body done because you don't care, because you're so confident and you just wanted to look. That's not true. Like, you feel some type of way and you wanted to get it done. If you start a conversation with, I don't feel good about this and this is why I got it done, versus it doesn't matter if I got it done. It looks good. I was able to afford it. You can't afford it. And it's just like, oh crap. If you sat down with me, somebody that's not going through the same thing that you are, we could probably help you. I have friends that are looking like ants right now. And I'm like, if you just sat down for
No,
5
she
minutes and
didn't.
talked to somebody, it was like, and you know what's the worst part is like, since it doesn't look good, they keep messing with it. And they tell you they don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You live for this. You've literally almost died for it.
So
These people are doing it
so
for life.
do they actually tell you, or do you see the changes in
Oh
you?
no,
So is it
it's a
shame
quick
with it?
defense. Like
some
when you tell them,
okay.
like, hey, how did you get it done? And they'll tell you, oh, it's because I wanted to. I love my body. There was nothing wrong with my body before. I always loved my body. I've always loved the way I look. I just wanted to get stuff done. So then, I proceed with like, okay, so what was the plan? Because if it's just for you, then what are you getting from this? Because a lot of these people don't have money. Do you know that you can afterpay your surgeries? You can put your payments. I have friends that
I
are
found that out in research too.
Yes.
Yeah, you
You know
can
that
make a
on
payment
TikTok, there's a TikTok world that is called Medicaid hacks for surgery. This is where women go and they tell you, this is how I was able to get my BBL for free. You're looking around and you're like, you live in like, what is this? Like your walls are all messed.
And that's what I was just saying to you about the breast augmentation. It's covered under Medicaid. So then, like she said, there's a hack. Depending on the state you live in, you find a workaround. Your doctor's willing to work with you. It comes together. Is it a form of fraud? It most certainly is. However, if it's a loophole, huh?
Don't you work with like Medicare, medical stuff?
I work in insurance, but yeah, so it's still a form of Medicare fraud, but people find loopholes, right? So it's a gray area. And I was doing the research, and when I looked, it says that by far Caucasian women do have, more percentage-wise, definitely have more plastic surgery. African Americans are pretty low. So for breast augmentation is 6%. These numbers are from 2020. For rhinoplasty, we're 5%. Does anyone know what blepharoplasty is? And then abdominoplasty, we're 7%. And then the other one is liposuction, where we're at 15%. So we're less than Hispanics, because in that same liposuction, they're 18%. And Asian Island Pacificers are 5%. So that's for the lipo. And the rhinoplasty, 71 for Caucasian, 5% for African American, 11 for Asian Pacific Islanders, and 10% Hispanic. And also shout out to AAPI month. We are in May, so shout out to that. But, so we're still low on the totem pole as far as having the surgeries, but it looks like our biggest number is the liposuction.
Well, look at how you guys were in a situation where you guys don't know anybody that's gotten their body done versus me, where I'm around only people that have gotten their bodies done. And I'm like, I wonder if that contributes to the numbers as well. Because, if you go and you tell your mom, hey, mom, I'm going to have this surgery done. And your mom is like, no, you're not. And your aunties are telling you, no, you're not, because nobody's ever done it. Versus if I go to an aunt and I tell them, actually, I don't have to go to an aunt. An aunt can see me and be like, hey, don't you want to get this done? Don't you want to get this removed? So I'm like,
so don't you think though, Janslyn, it's because locality, because the think about where people are at, where people wear less garments and are perceived to be just naturally beautiful when they know they're going under the knife somewhere. Not to say that people in Kentucky are not getting plastic surgery, but I really would like to see the numbers by locality where people are getting it, like California to compare to Pennsylvania. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think
they're not getting it done there either, Auntie. People don't get their bodies done in Kentucky. You got to go to Dominican Republic. You got to go to Mexico. You got to go to California. That's depending on your budget. If you go to California, stuff's going to look a little weird.
Well, I think the actual procedure, they're probably going to, the DR, they're going to Cuba. And
what she's talking about is the standard of beauty. When you're in California, it's funny weather and everybody's looking like a supermodel there. So you might be more inclined to
but I think when we
were surgery.
Right. But I think when we were growing up, that was the case. But because of social media,
Yes.
because more people are traveling. Again, international travel and all this was stuff that was still done in a certain segment. It was
Yes.
not everyone. Now everything is available to everyone, or it's within reach for everyone. So that between social media and all of that, people are taking trips they've never taken before, these high-end exotic trips that they never took before. So they're having the surgeries that they didn't have before. The people who were just killed a few months ago when they were mistaken identity. They were coming from South Carolina going into Mexico, and it was friends traveling with the woman who was going to have the surgery. Wrong place, wrong
That is so
time.
sad. Like,
They were
whoa.
killed. She was going to have plastic surgery. So
But look, let me just stop y'all here. I understand people are going these different places to have plastic surgery, right? But the thing that's probably more alarming is that they have to go to the DR. They got to go to Mexico. They got to go to these different places because it's still really not affordable in the United States.
It's safer though.
It's
Because
still
what
not
happens,
true, you know what I mean?
And that's why when Chauncey said the person that she knew, she had to plan it out. She had to save money. You have to plan it out. So that's very important.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna have any type of surgery, is first researching your doctor, not
that's what
going
she
the
did.
cheapest route, because sometimes the cheapest route is not the best route. You need someone reputable.
you know what's a
reputable.
conversation?
And you also need to have aftercare depending on your surgery, making sure
That
that's very important too. Because you
Yeah,
can
because you know
have
they
it,
put
and I
people
don't
on
have
the
anybody
plane
to help me with
tubes.
bandages or take down something. My life is still in jeopardy
And
after the
just
surgery.
like we spoke with Dr. Patel about the aftercare of women giving birth, the same thing. The women are dying because of the aftercare from these surgeries. It's not necessarily from the surgery itself. Because, like you said, they can afford to have the surgery, but then they're putting them back on a plane in a wheelchair from the DR to come back to the States instead of taking care of them for a certain amount of time. And what I'm not sure of, Kimmy, and when I was researching it, I believe that a lot of people also go to other countries to have it done because doctors here won't do them. And I know that there must be something to that, because look at what happened with Kanye West's mother. She went out of the States. We know she could have afforded to stay here and have her surgery done. What made her go?
They told her not.
No.
Yeah, but I think what you're saying is
isn't
true.
there
I think it has many arms. I think that people go because one, the doctor told them no, I'm not going to do that. Because you're rich and famous, and you can have a selection. But I do not want to minimize going overseas or going out of the country to get surgery, because those doctors are very well skilled. You know what I mean? If you look at the statistics of doctors in Cuba, they're more advanced than we are. You know what I mean?
That's in most countries.
Exactly. We're here we're here wanting the money, but we're here not even keeping them housed. You can't even get a decent primary care doctor.
Here's something you guys probably don't know, because you don't know a lot of people that have this done. Do you know what's a very normal conversation with somebody that's gotten their body done? Hey, how many kills does your doctor have? And they're like, oh, he's only killed 12 people. Only 13 people have. This is a normal conversation. So it's not safer over there either. It's just, it's cheaper. And I tell people when my family goes to get it done, I'm like, that's cool. You were able to secure that now. What are you going to do in 7 years when you need that same amount of money and that same amount of care? I have family members that have almost died and nobody talks about it. We're just, oh, what happened to this aunt? I haven't seen this aunt in like 6 months. I'm like, girl, that girl almost died. And I'm like, I would have never found out, because we don't talk about it. It's something that's supposed
so sad. Oh my God.
And also too, maybe they're not getting surgeries here, because I'm thinking about this point, because of rules and regulations may be in place and check points and whatever the check marks are.
Because they started cracking down.
Yep. You don't have to have this because of this, and this, and the doctor saying, no, I can't do this because you don't fit the category or fit the whatever criteria. So you have to look at that as well.
They barely want to touch you if you got high blood pressure and you want to go and fool around.
Because of malpractice suits and doctors, a lot of these doctors can't practice because they can't afford the malpractice coverage, right? Yeah. So I've been medical mal for a long time. And so when you look at it from that perspective, that is some of the other reasons why they go, because the same questions aren't, it's not that they're not skilled, but in other countries, but the same questions are not asked. They don't
Right,
understand
correct.
the history, because
Different
a lot of us have medical conditions where when we're taking these chances and going under the knife, it's not a good idea. And people don't like hearing no. They want what they want when they want it.
I watch a lot of the shows, and those weight loss shows. It's like you can't get weight loss surgery unless you lose a certain amount of weight.
Weight.
But you have family members that go and they leave 500 pounds and they come back 90 pounds in a week, and you're like, well, I'll pray for you, because are you okay? Because I'm like, here they don't do that because there has to be something behind it. I mean, it's America. We want money. Money is not the reason why they're going to turn anything down.
Not just weight loss surgery, but the skin removal surgery.
I've never-
All of those you have to qualify for, right? So they have to take you through psychological exams, and there's
Mhm.
whole
Why
criteria.
you gotta go through psychological? You got something hanging like a flat. Like
Because
that.
they might think it's body dysmorphia, because it's probably, if it's not a lot and you're like,
Oh, yeah, it looks so terrible. Like it looked
It
painful.
does, but the thing is, they have so many issues afterwards that
Oh.
this is all from trial and error. So it sounds simple. You lose the weight, you get the skin surgery, but even from losing the weight, there's psychological issues there. There's trauma there. Why? Because lots of times the weight was there because of trauma. So it's just everything is rooted in trauma. So you have all of these steps, and people aren't willing to wait for that. They don't want to have to be able to someone to tell them no and they can't do it, or they have to wait to do it, or whatever it may be. So it just, yeah, it's bad and it's sad. And we always praise the success stories, and oftentimes either don't know about the unsuccessful ones or never hear about the unsuccessful ones. So
Well, Sunny Hostin from The View got a couple things done.
yeah, she
And
did.
I love Sunny Hostin. And she looks great. She looks great. You know what I mean? And if you ever saw her watch, she got it done. You know what I mean? She didn't have to the affirmations from her family, because I think Sunny always looked great. You know what I mean? But she did it for herself, and of course she has the resources to do so. But I think that I don't want to stray away from the point that sometimes it's just that I want to do a little bit of here and a little bit of there
And that's
Right.
okay.
feel
That's okay.
good. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong
Ain't
with
that
it.
when you get into the drastic things of young people, and I say young people because you're not even giving yourself the chance to let your body morph into what it's supposed to be. And if you're not happy, then do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Do what's going to make you happy, but don't risk your life on it, because you could be looking really gorgeous in the casket. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I think we all have our feelings on this, and I think that it's personal preference, what
Yeah.
somebody wants to do. I'll tell you one thing. After I had my daughter Joey, and my daughter Joey was like my big baby, and I was, my weight before I had her was like 130, and then I went up to 217 when I was pregnant with her. So that's a drastic jump for me, you know what I mean? And I know I used to have to, I was psychologically not feeling great. I remember my grandma sent me these girdles and all this stuff like that, but I wore them and it pulled back pretty quick. You see what I'm saying? But I was pregnant right behind it with Jose. You see what I'm saying? And then, I just felt like this little fupa in my stomach was like a lot to deal with. You so self-conscious. You think about what your husband is looking at and so on and so on, But so that gives me understanding of what people may feel. We're getting older, you know what I mean? Like me walking, I got to do double the time of walking to hell get 7 pounds off. And this then weekend I eat that chocolate cake, it's back. You know what I mean? So, it's a battle. It really is a battle. Would I have plastic surgery? I don't know. I'm not gonna never say never. Because you know what? I don't know. I'm never going to say never, but I'm never going to risk my life over something. So I'm going to go to a board certified surgeon. I'm going to do some research on them, so on and so on. I think of why I would do surgery is because that propofol is really the bomb, y'all. I mean, sorry that Michael Jackson went overboard, But that is the best sleep you ever get. Now, you know, you
Even
don't
if
think
it's
about
only, wait a minute,
afterwards.
even if it's only for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Oh my God. It was like, can I take a little bit of that home just for
When
the
you get
next
the
couple of
colonoscopy, when
days?
my husband woke up, he was like, "That's the best sleep I ever
The
had."
best sleep
Mhm.
ever. Lord, how Michael hooked up where he was getting it every night. Lord, that is whoo. He should have
Not
never
good.
been tired. Like, oh
It's
my
not,
God. But you know, I'm
but it's
joking.
not
That's
good.
not funny.
Not good at all. But it's a good sleep.
So I think it was a really good episode. So final words. What do you have to say, Jaslyn?
Well, basically the only real advice I have, because I did do a lot of research on it, and I met both ends. I wish I would have met more people that you guys knew that got their bodies done, because it would have been a different perspective. It's mostly for the women. Like, I love you ladies. Stop asking women what they like if you don't really want to be with a woman past, friendship. You're here to impress the men. So ask the men that you're interested in. If you like a guy, pick that guy and tell him, yo, what do you like in a girl? So you can make sure you do that. Because asking other women, wow, that's gonna be very bad. And I'm like,
It
we
sure
need
is.
to have more honest conversations, not for opinions, because people are gonna get it done. Some people like it, some people don't. But it's a safety thing. Because while you're lying to me, I can be telling you, hey, I want to get my body done, and you're telling me how amazing everything is. You're not telling me the truth. God forbid I go and I get something done and then I die. So because you couldn't be honest with me, your homegirl, feminist, we're all feminists now, but nobody's protecting each other out here.
Ooh,
So
that's
be
a good point.
like, you want to be a feminist, you want to love women, tell me the truth when I ask you. Don't tell me, oh, there was nothing wrong with my body. I completely love this and I didn't feel any. No, you have to tell, yo, Jasmine, internally,
That's
I was
true.
thinking about this. And then I went to this doctor. He's got this many kills in them, though. Before you go, girl, don't tell me after I got there. And you're like, oh, you had doctor this one? He done killed like 3 of my cousins. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
That's not
So
funny, but Lord have mercy. Like, didn't that make
it's a
you cry?
reality. I'm like, this is crazy that everybody, before I started interviewing all of them, I asked them, like, what did you know about your doctor? And everybody immediately was like, oh, well, my doctor only had 9 kills. So 9 kills? I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And that was okay for them. Like, they were like, it doesn't matter, because they're not thinking about it. They're like, all I know is I'm going to come
If she
back
could
for
be
PR
number
in
10.
6 months and I'm going to be on Instagram killing it. That's all they're worried about. And I'm like, just be honest, y'all. I have a little sister. I don't want people telling my little sister, like, this is what you have to look like. It's very hard being a woman that's confident in 2023, because I have to look at my mom and my little sister and tell them, the internet is lying to you guys. You guys are beautiful. You're very intelligent. My mom is aging like wine, girl. I'm like, you guys look good. The people that are telling you don't look good don't look like y'all. Remember
Absolutely.
that.
Keisha?
Remember that.
Keisha?
They never look like you.
Short and simple. Research a doctor. Research, research, research. And then make sure you have money for aftercare if you elect to do the surgery. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all.
Chauncey?
To piggyback on what Keisha just said, make sure you do the research as to who is going to be your doctor. Make sure that you can truly afford to have done what you want done. Because I have also heard from another person after having it done, I'm not happy with it. I can't imagine going through all of that, paying the money that you pay, and afterwards still saying, I'm not really happy with it.
I know somebody that did have a tummy tuck like probably about 15 years ago, and they were very unhappy. Very
So
unhappy. They didn't even have what you thought they were going to have. Like, that was like,
at the end of the day,
$10,000.
it may
That's a
not
lot
give
of
you
money.
a lot of money. So it may not even give you what you thought it was going to give you anyway. So,
Yeah.
try.
Great episode, ladies. So, I think we were very honest, very candid, and we didn't offend anybody. I don't think we did.
We love you, ladies, natural or not. You know what I'm saying?
Natural or
Yes.
not,
I'm gonna watch.
Yes.
I'm gonna like. I'm gonna double tap. I'm gonna do it all. So
Exactly. So, great episode. All I can say is, and I hope that people take it for what it is. It's just, informational as always. And, we're not here to offend anybody, and do what's going to make you happy. At the end of the day, do what's going to
Exactly.
make you happy, and because happiness is everything, isn't it? As long as
Yes.
you don't hurt
It
somebody, I
is.
think happiness is everything. Don't
Happiness
do
is
it.
good, but it's fleeting. It ain't a permanent state of being.
It is
So
not. It is
Yes.
not.
True.
keep that in mind.
It is definitely. I'm glad you made that point. That it is not. You know what I mean? Because
Not a
sometimes
permanent
if you're
state of
chasing
being.
happiness in the wrong way, you're gonna get the results you're looking for.
But
So,
find you some joy. If you find joy, you'll be all right.
yeah. So, all right. So join us every Wednesday when we drop a new episode. Check us out on our social media pages: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. So joining me today is
I'm Chauncey.
Keisha.
Catherine. So everybody have a wonderful week on purpose, and we'll see you next Thursday. No, Wednesday. What the?
Where you going?
Thank you. See, I told y'all I'm having issues. See y'all next Wednesday. Have a great week on purpose. Take care.